this video, we refer to the character as Lee, Leah, and Leia. Please ignore this. It is the same character.
Lee is a brat at the beginning, and I feel like we can all agree on that. But she gets better, I guess. Quote by Lucy Maggard. Today we will discuss Lee's coming of age, because she has had the biggest contribution to the coming of age plotline. Not that the other girls aren't important, but Lee had the most significant change throughout the book. She was a very religious girl, and in a Catholic school we can agree with that, but she takes it overboard. She is always very obedient to her father, always trying to impress him. Of course, at some point, she begins to see her father's flaws, and rethinks everything. She changes over the course of the book, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
The education of his family's souls is never far from my father's thoughts. He often says he views himself as the captain of a sinking mess of female minds. I know he must find me tiresome, yet still I like spending time with my father very much more than anything else. This quote discusses how Nathan feels like he always has to be on the girls in his family because they are a sinking mess, and he doesn't want to give them independence. Lee has not experienced any significant change yet because Nathan dwells on his daughters so much, and Lee feeds into it.
Some people find him overly stern and frightening, but that is only because he was gifted with such keen judgment and purity of heart. He has been singled out for a life of trial, as Jesus was. Because being always the first to spot flaws and transgressions, it falls upon Father to deliver penance. Yet he is always ready to acknowledge potential salvation that resides in a sinner's heart. I know that someday, when I've grown large enough in the Holy Spirit, I will have his wholehearted approval. This quote shows that Leigh has been able to grow into an independent girl because she looks up to her father so much, and all she cares about is getting his approval. In addition to this, she is quite literally comparing Nathan to Jesus. She is comparing her father to one many recognize as a prophet, the Son of God. I think we can all agree that her vision of him is a bit distorted. After all, he is certainly not without sin.
I used to pray to God to make me just like him, smart and righteous and adequate to his will, I confessed. Now I don't even know what to wish for. I wish I were more like everybody else. This quote is significant because she's confessing to Anatole that she used to idolize her father and wish to be exactly like him. As she grows older, though, she realizes that she does not want to be just like him, but like everybody else instead.
His decision to keep us here in the Congo wasn't right, then what else might he be wrong about? Leah realizes that her father might not have the best morals, and he is currently very lost and not sure. She realizes that he might not be the best person to follow, considering he has made this bad decision to stay in the Congo.
Do you know the name Moise Shombi? I might have heard it, but I wasn't sure. I started to nod, but then admitted no. I decided right then to stop pretending I knew more than I did. I would be myself, Leah Price, eager to learn all there is to know. Watching my father, I've seen how you can't learn anything when you're trying to look like the smartest person in the room. This quote marks a major moment in Leah's coming of age. We see her beginning to break away from wanting to become the spitting image of her father and just being herself. She was humble enough to admit that she did not know, and smart enough to realize that her father's way was not always right, something that was not seen early on in.
I was shocked and frightened to see her flout father's authority, but truthfully, I could feel something similar moving around in my own heart. For the first time in my life, I doubted his judgment. He'd made us stay here when everybody from Nelson to the King of Belgium was saying white missionaries ought to go home. For us to be here now, each day, was Father's decision and his alone. Yet he wasn't providing for us, but only lashing out on us more and more. I wanted to believe him. In this passage, Leah is directly saying that she's doubting her father's authority. She says for us to be here now, each day, was Father's decision and his alone. This is important because before, even if she didn't agree with her father's choices, she simply trusted in his judgment and supported his decision. Here we see Leah placing the blame on her father, rightfully so. This passage exemplifies Leah's maturity and coming of age.
All my life, I've tried to set my shoes squarely in his footprints, believing if only I stayed close enough to him, those same clean, simple laws would rule my life as well, that the Lord would see my goodness and fill me with light. yet with each passing day I find myself farther away. This passage is Leah putting plainly that she did try to be just like her father, but that has changed. She is beginning to doubt him, specifically his decision to stay in the Congo. Leah is also beginning to doubt the Lord, a once prevailing component in her life.
You can see by these quotes, Leah matures and grows a lot throughout this book. At first, she practically worships her father and wants nothing more than to be like him. But as the story progresses, she realizes his flaws and that he probably isn't a good person to follow. She doesn't like his decision to stay in the Congo when he purely made that decision himself. Because of this decision, Leah begins to question his morals and drift apart from him. Leah also finds herself as a person, and she realizes that she doesn't want to be like her father anymore. She wants to be herself and find herself. So we'd say it's a pretty happy ending for Leah.
Oh. Great. Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's profile perspective.
Oh my god. What?
Alright.
Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm adding bloopers at the end. Okay, and something. That is a bear print. That's a carrot. Wow. Those are potatoes. I know, it's okay.